Hello everyone and welcome to the weekend video. As you can see, I am in Daz Studio and this is, since you can see I'm not starting with anything, this is actually a video I recorded live because today I want to talk about a very specific thing that I spoiled in the live stream. Well, spoiler that I said I want to talk about or will talk about in the live stream, and that is, well, not feet specifically, but more what you use to protect your feet from the very evil ground that wants to try to hurt you. In the specific case, we are going to talk about feet, soles. And judging or looking at the last few pieces I made, this one is the very last piece that I finished. I have this heel with a block on the front, so like a plateau heel. We also have, I need to find the picture, this character wearing wedge heels. And last but not least, we have the Benalia token, which I also need to find because I didn't properly do that before. And this character has the same plateau heels as the first character. So I didn't make those from thin air, obviously. I made them in hexagon, which is what we're gonna start with. And I'm going to show you the different models. I'm going to play around with one of the models. And then we are going back into Daz. So I have the wedge open, which I just recently played around with. I basically altered one of the lines that wasn't behaving as I wanted it to. And yeah, this is how the thing looks. We can compare to the other thing again. Wait, that is not the right one. Hello? It does not want me to. Okay, in that case we are not going to compare this directly. Yeah, I can do it like this. You can see that the this is actually the wedge heel with a little bit of plateau, which I don't have open right now. I'd have to actually look where I have that and get that out. What I have open is the normal wedge heel, the relatively flat on the front. I'm also going to open the other one, the plateau heel, which I just saved after I made the Benalia token and reused for the other soldier. And last but not least, we have this stiletto heel. I have a few more, but these are the ones I'm currently using mostly. Stiletto because the heel in itself is very small. We can even make this a bit smaller and a bit tighter if we wanted to. And we're going to change this into a plateau stiletto, like make this even smaller. But first, before we do that, I'm going to show you a few things. Like, just from looking at the profile on the right view, let me make that a bit bigger. You can see that the heel obviously has a kind of angle towards the foot. That is because the heel follows the foot usually, and once we bend the foot, the heel has to bend with it, because by default you're not slipping into the foot is put onto the body and follows that in Daz Studio, which we will go into next. And I will grab from the armor my newest footwear. The Benalia foot should work. I need to grab the left one, I think. I need to grab the right one, obviously. Wardrobe, armor, footwear, right? Okay. So this is the default pose of the foot and the following heel. And if I now give this from the poses the normal heel pose, you can see the heel is going directly below, directly like to the ground, and the front is as well. Everything looks fine so far. If I create a simple cylinder is fine, and just put it under here, you can see that the heel is above the same height as the plateau, like they end around the same point into the cylinder that I just made, which I will make untouchable. Okay, so why is that important? That is very simple. As you can see right now, this works very fine. But if I import this platform heel that I just used, right, same model, and I transfer this to the Genesis female as a footwear, right? Footwear, no, the platform heel. Except, whoop, you can see a few things. For example, I'm going to move the cylinder. Actually going to make the cylinder visible for now. You can see a few things. For one, there is a lot of distortion in the whole thing. Yeah, and the heel is very, very broken. Why is that? Let's compare this to the platform heel that, to the footwear that she has. If I grab her toes, you can see that part of the heel gets highlighted. That is because this part of the heel is set to the toes. And you can see that if I show you platform heel, the same is true. Now we're gonna look into why, or if we want to look into why, this is very simple. If I'm restoring the figure pose, you can see that there's actually a straight line down between the foot, or between where the foot has its toes and where the heel ends. So if we're going to give her the pose again, obviously this gets bent under the toe or with the toe, and thus there is this kind of movement. So what we're going to do, or what I'm going to show you, is how I use weight mapping to fix my model. We're going to expand from selected here. I'm going to grab the foot, which is the foot from the platform heel, not the foot from Genesis, right? I'm still at the foot model. And if I now go to weight mapping, I've already set up the weight mapping. Yeah, sensitivity is 1, radius is around 40. I'm grabbing the X rotation. You can see that the weight mapping is, gradually getting lower towards the heel, and that is basically the main idea. We don't have to go into geometry or joint something. We can just use the weight mapping as it is, and we are going to, or I'm going to simply change the heel to be focused on the foot instead, which I will do for all rotations. I usually don't look into the bulges because they're not relative. Scale weight is relatively irrelevant because usually you don't need those. I need to just get my tool back, because the okay, was just a visual artifact. because the scaling for the foot and the toe would be the same. I can try to... I cannot scale... Oh, I can scale the foot independently. Even on Genesis, I should be able to scale the foot, oops, independently. That is, of course, the wrong foot, which is totally on me. But yeah, if I scale the toes, you can see that the shoe is getting bigger with it. And now that I changed the scale weights to the foot, it is not changing with it. Okay. And before we go any further, I'm going to grab my trusty cylinder. We're going to check if we are already at the correct height. And now we can see this kind of works already. Yeah. But we still have some artifacts on the plateau, which we are going to fix, of course. We're going to grab the toes. Here's something that I do mainly because I don't like what the figure is doing. The toes have their own bones and can be moved, and this creates distortion, or can create distortion in your heel, which we don't want. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab all toes. Yeah, just the right toes. We're going back to our weight mapping tool, and we are going to weight map the whole toe area to the toes as a whole, which will remove the weight mapping for the specific single toes, which is what we want. At least this is what I want and what I'm teaching you. What you can also see is that this removes a lot of what I call bulk from this, because it basically smoothes down the actual weight mapping much better. I don't want this here. Holding Alt lets you remove some of the weight mapping if it's not red. Like if I... No. Okay, now we got it. Yeah, and this is how I usually do these heels. Because now if I return to my Genesis to female and I'm going to move like a small toe, there is still a bit of distortion, but like if we go back to the actual node weight mapping, there's still rotation. What I would do is simply like right click the X rotation, copy selected, paste them to the other two rotations and the scale weights. And now if I grab the toe and I move it around, it does not get distorted. It shows a bit of distortion, but there actually is no distortion because the whole block under the toes is completely slaved to just the toe bone. We can check that out going to the joint editor. Like, there's a foot bone, there's a toe bone, and then there's like 5 individual toe bones even after that, which I mean is good for when you want to make very specific renders or very specific poses, but I don't really want that for my clothing, so I don't need that, and I remove that because otherwise you get really crankled up shoes. This is something that you can see in my very early renders. I'm not going to look for one right now, but yeah, this is one of the issues that I had at the very beginning, and I was really confused at how and what had happened. But we're going to go back to hexagon, because there is we should have a little bit of modeling in the video, I think. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a going to make a plateau for this, because I want to show you the procedure I have for this. I leave the little dent here. This is basically a dent I need to make sure that I don't break, that I don't combine these heels. I don't combine the heel with the other thing. And what we're going to do is we are going to make the heel even more extreme, which means I have to play around a bit with the whole thing. Because as you can see, this is not aligned yet, so now we have an aligned thing. This means the heel has to get longer, obviously, and this area has to get lower. I think I grabbed too much. Okay, we're going to make the platform become a bit smaller as well. And this is just eyeballing, by the way. I don't have a specific science for this. I'm just eyeballing this as it is, and I have to go back and forth between this and Daz as soon as I'm done. Okay, we're going to expand this quite a bit. I'm just trying to envision, if I tilt this like almost 90 degrees, how tilted is this. We might actually want to untilt it somewhat, like it is very, very extreme, like an almost 90 degree. And I don't think the figure can actually do this. Pretty sure it can't. Also, we have this kind of dent, which we don't want, so we're going to undent this, move this, undent this, and I think we are kind of where we want. I would say this needs to be a tiny bit longer. We're going to save that as the stiletto break a heel, because it will most likely break someone's foot wearing this. Okay, we're going to save this. We're going to export this as an object into video. Name is fine, because this is just a test run, and this is something I do before I actually design the shoes, which I also want to show you a little trick in here for in a bit. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the platform here that we just made. We have the footwear still here, which we don't need right now. What I want is one of the other footwear that I have. For example, let's take this one. This one is fine. But first we're going to import the stiletto breaker heel. There we go. Edit object, transfer utility, to Genesis as a footwear item, and we're going to already have the whole issue with the broken thing. You can see that the plateau in front is also dented, so we're going to have to apply the whole weight mapping thing. Expand from selected. We can close this. Right foot. We're going to start here. And we can already say, okay, we might want to tilt the foot a bit more until we have this 90 degrees. Let's say 60. Okay, we have some tilts and the heel is not quite right, so I would go back to hexagon at this point and be like, okay, where is the dent? Okay, I can see it. We're going to move all of this stuff and move it slightly down. Also, I saw something else. If I looked from behind, it would need to be tilted sideways, so we're going back to hexagon. I'm going to go to the bottom view. I'm actually needing two views here. I'm going to grab the whole heel. I'm going to tilt it this way, move it over, and save. Just save and export as the new stiletto breaker heel. This is fine. Going back to Daz, and you can see I've left the heel in because now I can just import the new one. Edit, object, transfer utility, Genesis to female, stiletto breaker heel, footwear, accept. This is a new one. Going to make the first one invisible and fix the weight. Yeah. Spawn from selected. Foot. Fix the weight mapping for now. And now I think, yeah, this looks way better as before. It's still a bit tilted, but that's okay. We are going to grab her toes. We're going to bend her toes until she has like the correct way. We can now delete the first stiletto breaker that we don't need. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab the toes, go back to weight mapping, and yeah, try to fix the weight mapping on the whole toe area. Make sure you don't touch the heel that you already fixed. I usually start with the heel because this is the area I want to actually see, and or I need to see and see, hey, did I fix it or did I break it? Toe. Probably should go a little bit more in. We're just going to eyeball this a bit because this is something we usually don't even see as an area. And yeah, okay, what I can tell is I should probably instead of shorten the heel, lengthen the plateau, but since this is just a test, we are going to leave it at that because the video is already way too long. Last thing I want to show you is once you have all the heels you want, you can do one simple trick. I'm grabbing my stiletto heels for now, and since all the heels come from the same base, I can go to the surfaces editor. I grab my spiral and my wait, what is the heel support? No. I'm grabbing the spiral, I'm making this invisible, and I'm going to grab the sole, there we go, make it invisible, and if I grab my stiletto breaker heel and copy selected surface, paste selected surface, and make this one visible, you now have a, well, I don't want to say finished product, but finished product. What I basically just did is I now have two objects. Two objects make up the shoe, but I can very quickly change which what kind of sole, what kind of heel I have. Here's a little trick, by the way. If you go into eyewear mode, you can see if the heel and the front of the shoe, the heel support and the toe support are on the same height, because you can see which one does a shadow and which one is floating in the air. But yeah, that's it for this video. This is what I wanted to talk about, and yeah, maybe show off my heels a bit more. But yeah, I'm going back to regular pin-up, skimpily clad women content next week. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you guys around.